All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to owe you guys an update on where I've been lately, and why videos have been lacking on my channel. So, as you guys know, I am down here in Mexico, in a small town, medium-sized town called Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Vallarta, which basically translates to Vallarta Port. And I spent about 4 months here last year. It is probably one of my favorite cities in all of Mexico. So if you guys are looking to travel to Mexico in the near future, and you're looking for a place that gives you all the benefits of Mexico, but not the costs of the touristy areas like Cancun or Playa del Carmen or Tulum, you got to come to this coast, because this coast has so many awesome cities where the local culture is still alive and well. The locals here vastly outnumber the tourists, and the tourists that come here are typically other Mexican tourists. So Puerto Vallarta is huge for Mexican locals, retirees. Just, I think it's a classier demographic than if you go down to Cancun or Playa del Carmen, for example, which does attract a lot of the backpacking riffraff. You don't see it as much out here. So I love it. You can still find the clubs, you can still find the pool holes and all the seedy places if you want. That exists here. But the other cool thing about Puerto Vallarta, which I love, is the beauty of the city. This city is built into the mountainside. So you come here, the architecture, there's just so much charm and tradition here. And I'm blown away by Puerto Vallarta. And also, it's got a pretty good medical tourism scene, which is what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So, I've been out here now for a couple of weeks, and as you guys know, I had that gout flare up about 8 weeks ago. Now, typically, whenever I have a gout flare up, it takes about 2 weeks for it to resolve itself. Now, I've had gout multiple different times before in my life. It started 2017, 2018, when I was in Vietnam, and I was just loading up on fish, like too much seafood. And I woke up and my left foot was just in a pain that I never felt before. Horrible pain. And I ended up getting blood work in Vietnam, and that's where they first identified that I had elevated uric level acids in my bloodstream, which is what causes a gout flare up. So in Vietnam, I was able to get diagnosed and treated with the correct drugs. And the drugs they'll typically give you are it's a combination of allopurinol, which is more of a longer drug for a couple months, and then colchicines, which is a drug you take for acute flare-ups, and that's usually a much shorter dose. So I did that, and let me just say this: the pain was so bad in Vietnam the first time I had gout that I needed a wheelchair to get to the airport. I could not walk for the life of me. It was the worst pain I had experienced in my life up to that point. Fast forward a few years later, I was right when COVID first started. I was living in Brooklyn for a couple weeks, and this was like March 2020. I had just left Thailand, and throughout periodically, I would deal with like sprained ankles, but I was always kind of like, why do I have a sprained ankle if I didn't do anything to sprain my ankle? It was like a mild gout flare up. I never identified what it was, but that's in hindsight what it was. So anyway, I've dealt with gout in the elbow. I've dealt with it in the ankles, the big toe. This time, about 2 months ago, I got it in the left foot, big toe, and I went to the ER in Florida, and I got a drug called prednisone. Now, prednisone is a steroid, and it made me feel like shit. I took the drug, and it completely threw off my diet. I was just craving sweets, donuts, chocolate, and I was indulging myself in those things. Really bad for your diet. So after 5 days of prednisone, it did help with the pain, but it did not help treat the underlying problem, which was the gout. So I went to another doctor, and they put me back on the allopurinol colchicines. Now, I did that for 2 weeks, and it worked, and I was feeling A-okay. Decided to go on Amazon.com and buy a new pair of sneakers. I got the Reebok Classics, and I'm not a Reebok wearer. I'm usually Nike or this other brand in Mexico called Flexi, which I love. And so I buy a pair of sneakers online, and turns out they were a size too small, but I was just under the assumption that I needed to break my shoes in, when you got new shoes. So I went to the casino on a bender with Five Star Pete, who I think is in the chat room right now, and he noticed that I was walking funny for 36 hours in those sneakers. Finally, when I took my sneakers off, uh, I realized the sneakers were just too fucking tight, and it actually started causing a bunion on the left side of my foot, the fifth metatarsal, the pinky toe. Now let me tell you something, guys. I don't have bunions, but the pain that this caused me, it felt like my foot was on fire. Okay, the left side of my foot. So I go from gout to the left side of my foot now, just being this burning pain, not a gout pain, a different type of pain. Very strange. So now it's been about 6 weeks, and my cardio has just been completely depleted. My leg strength is gone. My stamina is shot. And I arrive in Puerto Vallarta feeling finally decent, right? I'm still limping. I'm actually wearing a walking boot at this point. But a few days into Puerto Vallarta, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling invigorated. The weather, the food, the culture, returning here, the familiarity. I just started to feel really, really good again. So I decided to, because I was feeling great, go on a nice long walk for the first time in 2 months. I walked from an area called Zona Romantica, which means romantic zone, to another area called 5D, Cinco de Diciembre, which means 5th of December. It's an area here. So I walk romantic zone to December 5th area, which is about 3 kilometers, 4 kilometer walk. Now, if you've been to Puerto Vallarta, you'll know that we have a lot of steps, hills, and cobblestone roads. So if you are out of shape or you have a bad ankle or you just, have not been walking, it's a challenging walk. That's just the bottom line. But when I lived here last year, it's a walk I made 100 times. And as you guys know, I was doing cardio a lot lately prior to this string of incidents. My cardio was great. I was hitting my 10,000 steps a day. I was down to about 13% body fat before this all happened. And I was looking great, feeling great. And then I've had this 2 months now. So I do 3 days of walking here in Puerto Vallarta. And on day 4, I want to go to the dentist because I got a tooth infection. And I had to walk about half a kilometer. And let me tell you something, guys. That walk was the hardest walk of my life, that half a kilometer walk, because I did not realize at the time, but I had overworked my legs the last 3 days doing these long walks. I overworked. I pushed myself too hard. Just from walking, I pushed myself too hard. And my left tendon, my ankle, flared up. So now I go from gout to a fifth metatarsal bunion to what I diagnosed as ankle tendonitis. And once again, my limp is back. I lose all mobility of my left ankle. And again, I didn't do anything except walk. It just goes to show how out of shape I am now. And even going upstairs, I get super winded. It's really fucking annoying because I take my health and fitness pretty seriously. And this has absolutely grounded me. So I've been trying to go out and doing videos. I've been trying to talk to people, but my mental energy has been so depressed from my lack of ability to exercise correctly, the fact that I can't get to and from places like a normal human anymore. For the past 2 months, I feel like I've just been a grounded bird. Now, I look at my life compared to others, and I'm just like, you know what? At least I could walk, right? At least I got both my legs. But for someone who is as active as I am, it's not like I was a normal level of activity going, to normal to this. I would say, very active to this. So it's extreme. Like I can't even walk to the gym, which is like half a kilometer from here. I have to take a taxi. Now, luckily in Mexico, the taxes are about $2 to $5 at most. So everything here is quite affordable. But the situation is I've just been in a very, very deep mental funk because of the string of injuries to my legs. Now, I decided to finally get some blood work done today after 5 years, and I don't have the results yet, but I did X-rays today. I did blood work. I saw a podiatrist. This guy was legit. All of that, all the treatment plans, all the drugs he gave me, all in all was $200 for blood work, X-rays, seeing a doctor, all that stuff. $200. Not as cheap as Southeast Asia, but a far cry from what it would have been in the U.S. without insurance. Probably 10% of the cost of the U.S., if not far less than that. So we're gonna wait for the blood work. My doctor, he thinks here what he thinks happened is I was taking enough drugs to reduce my gout flare up, but my uric acid levels, he said, are probably still elevated, which is why I can't fully shake this injury. He says he thinks that the gout is still present, and that's what's causing a problem, and that's what's causing the inflammation and flare in my left foot. Is that there's not a flare up now because my uric acid levels are not at the peak, but he says they're not at normal probably, and that explains everything. So we're going to see what happens with these results. And once the blood work comes back, we're going to see if I need to be on uric acid plan or maybe my foot just was overworked. So Big Dog Bulldogs, are you dying? We're all dying. I mean, every single one of us is dying. Every breath we take is one less breath we have on this planet, which is depressing but true. I don't think I'm dying. I mean, besides my leg, I feel pretty healthy. Obviously, I've lost noticeable muscle mass. I could see it in myself right now. I'm going to be going to the gym today to do upper body strength for the first time in a week. I was on a antibiotic before for my gum infection, and that was making me feel like shit. I went to the gym to lift. Nope, wasn't happening. I went out to my favorite restaurant to eat. Couldn't even have a bite of food. I just was nauseous as soon as I smelt the food, which was strange because I love this restaurant. So I'm not on antibiotics right now. I am on this drug, indomedicina, which apparently is meant to help with the inflammation. But really, this string of illness and this inability to walk has just drained my mental energy. And the only reason I was able to do the Uvalde video for the shooting was because I was really touched by that whole entire, that experience that happened. It was horrible. So I was able to muster the strength to get on and do a video about that for the kids that we lost. But besides that, my energy's been zapped. I do have some videos here and there, pieces of content that I'm going to put together in a video for you guys. But it's the most disjointed video that I've put up in a while. There's no real theme to this video. It's just a bunch of clips. And I think that really speaks to my mindset over the past 2 months. I've just been unable to do things I enjoy, and I've just been unable to be healthy mentally and physically. So that's what's been going on lately. I'm grateful to be down here in Mexico, though. And I'm also grateful that crypto market is pumping again. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Bitcoin has shattered a specific resistance level today. $31,600 was a level that it needed to break in order to validate a bullish trend. So I'm again, this is not financial advice, but Bitcoin is looking juicy, and we theoretically, hypothetically, possibly could be back on track for the 100K pump that people have been predicting for years now. And if Bitcoin hits 100K, and by the way, I don't own any Bitcoin. I just have a lot of some of the altcoins. But if Bitcoin hits 100K, that is going to act like a gravitational force for the rest of the market. And if Bitcoin hits 100K, then Ethereum is probably going to come close to 8K, 9K. And at that point, I'll probably have to cash out some of that because that would be a really juicy gain for me. And I would likely finally buy real estate. If Ethereum hits 8K, I'll liquidate, exit, and then buy real estate somewhere in Florida. And though, I'm excited to see what it does to the rest of the market. My Coinbase stock is down 80%. That's definitely to this day the worst stock pick I've made. I bought at 350, if we're being honest, and I don't even check it anymore. I think it's probably like $75 today. So that's been brutal to watch. But again, it's only a paper loss. It's not a loss till you sell. But yeah, the Joe Biden's economy has destroyed my portfolio. I don't see any hope in the market right now. Well, I do see hope in the market. I don't see hope in America right now. I think America is in a dark place, at least until the midterms. I think once the midterms come around, things are going to change in this country. There's going to be a wave of hope that'll come in. And I think Joe Biden, already very ineffectual, is going to be completely neutralized come the midterms when Republicans take control of everything. And, don't underestimate the power of Elon Musk on our side. Do not underestimate it. He opened up recently that he voted for Joe Biden last election, and he donated to Hillary Clinton before. So the fact that he's now voting for Republicans is a huge example of a red-pilled moment. The world's richest man. He's well-liked. Very high favorability ratings in the world, Elon Musk. Very high trustworthy ratings from all the studies that we see about him. So we got Elon Musk on our side, and it's a beautiful thing. As far as Canada goes, I met a friend here. Her name is Jennifer, and she's from Vancouver, and she's extremely based. She loves Trump, what he stands for, and she doesn't like Trudeau. She's actually going to be in my video that I'll post later today. You guys will finally, you'll see her. She's just a friend, guys, so don't think anything else. But she tells me all the time that Canada is in a really, really bad spot right now, and she predicts it's about to get worse. It's strange that Canada is one of the few countries with restrictions still for vaccines. You need to be vaccinated to pretty much exit the country, to ride on an airplane or take a train. And the only other country in the world right now that has such restrictions is China. So China and Canada are really the only two. And if you're on the side of China, you're not in a good spot. You're just not where you're supposed to be. So Canada has been an absolute disgrace. I am ashamed of Canada, but I'm also ashamed of the USA, because the bottom line is, and I've heard people here in Mexico, I've spoken to Mexican people down here, and they've said two things about the US, which I thought was interesting. Number one, a lot of Mexicans in Puerto Vallarta, they didn't get the vaccine because they said it's all about personal choice. And they were shocked to see US took the route of mandating the vaccine. They were shocked by that. They said, you guys are supposed to be the country of freedom and choice. And when USA was mandating it, they felt scared that it was going to happen in Mexico too. Now, the big cities in Mexico, like Mexico City, Guadalajara, those cities are highly vaccinated because they're liberals, just like New York City, and they're very all masked up and highly indoctrinated. It's interesting, the cities, but it makes sense because, if you are going to heavily vaccinate an area, it would be a place where it's heavy proximity, dense population. But here in the beach town, a lot of people that I meet, the locals, are not vaccinated, and they're very disappointed in the U.S. having had fallen to the mandates. So we're a disgrace too. I mean, Canada's a disgrace. We're a disgrace. And what's even a bigger disgrace is that London lifted mandates before the U.S. did. That to me is that's shocking that London laid the groundwork for USA. It's bizarre. Now, you will see a lot of mask wearing out here still, especially within the service sector. People still wear masks. For example, at the hospital today, they made me wear a mask. And I did it out of respect for them because, again, I'm in their country. And you guys got to understand something. When you're traveling, you want to keep a low profile, right? I'm already walking around the hospital with my dogs. So I'm already causing a scene just by that alone. And then secondly, I'm already causing a scene because I'm a Mexican who sounds like an American who does not speak the language natively. So I'm already drawing attention to myself. Um, so I keep a low profile as much as I can out here. I don't go out and get blacked out drunk. I don't go out and act like a fool here. I'm here to kind of just blend in as much as I can, even though it's kind of hard because my voice and then my dogs. But I did wear a mask for about an hour today, and I felt really fucking stupid doing it. But I didn't want to upset the doctor, and I get if you're gonna have to wear it anywhere, a hospital is not the worst place to wear a mask. So I did wear one today for an hour to be fully transparent, and it was pretty annoying. I definitely don't like wearing a mask. They drew my blood today too, and I preferred them to draw my blood. I'd rather them draw my blood than me wear a mask. That's just kind of where my mindset is right now. Um, so I did tell the front desk person when she said, "Oh, tú tienes una máscara," which means you have a mask. I said, "Oh no, we don't do that in USA anymore." And she said, "Oh, I know, but here in Mexico Hospital, we still have to." I said, "Oh, okay, just I'll take one." So am I good? I think I'm good. I don't know. The blood work's not back yet. We'll see. He did 5 or 6 tests. I gave 3 vials of blood today. We'll see the results. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. I hope. Knock on wood. But whatever it is, this is the first blood work I've had done in 5 years. I've been terrified to do it. I've avoided it. I have neglected it. And generally, I'm pretty healthy in terms of diet and caloric intake and exercise. So I'm already doing most of the things that you're supposed to do to be healthy. But it really is good to get checked out. And I interviewed a man on my channel who was diagnosed with terminal cancer. We did on the T&A Show, and he was diagnosed with terminal colon cancer. He was given a couple of years to live, and talking to him a couple months ago did kind of subtly plant that seed that I should probably get my health checked out a little bit, just because a lot of the diseases we can get in life, if they're caught early enough, you could actually manage them pretty well or prevent further deterioration. But I've just been letting the fear of the results make me avoid getting any blood work done. But we did it today, and we'll get the answers at some point. But in the meantime, I'm gonna hit the gym, and I'm just bottom line lucky to be here with you guys. We're all lucky. I think about those kids that were taken from us in Uvalde, and when you're 10 years old, you don't think about this is going to be my last day on Earth. None of us thought that. And compared to those kids who we've lost, I've already been given or blessed with 28 extra years that they had. And I guarantee you, if you ask those 10-year-old kids, would you rather go now or get 28 years? Everybody would take 28 years extra. I think 99.9% of people would say, give me those years. So they'll never get them. We have them. I'm sure some of you are older than me. I'm sure we have some 50-year-olds on this chat, maybe 60-year-olds. If you guys are here celebrating birthdays, be fucking grateful. Be grateful. And all I'm going to say is, protect yourselves. But most importantly, guys, you got to protect your family in these times. And we've learned now through the incident that police are not going to be there for you. Police are not going to be there for any of you when you need them in a time of need. And, I stood by the police through Back the Blue with January 6th. I was still there supporting them. Even after all the mandates, I still supported them when they were enforcing bad mandates. That was a little silly of me to still give them that hope. But now after this Uvalde shooting, they've lost a lot of respect for me, the police. I'll still comply, of course, and I'll still respect them if they were to stop me, because there's no need for me to not comply. That's just stupid. But it's a real wake-up call that they're not going to be there to help you all the time when you need them to. So take advantage of the Constitution. If you guys are not legal, concealed, trained gun owners, you should consider it. And I'm not going to promote reckless gun ownership, but I do think going to the gun range, learning how to handle a weapon, finding a weapon that you're good at using, that you're comfortable with, and keeping it somewhere safely in your home to protect your family in a time of emergency and away from children, of course. I think is something that people should really, really, really consider. Uh, let's see. Big Dog Bulldog says, just get a Mexican girlfriend. No, I don't want to date a Mexican girl because I'm Mexican. And so I want my kid to be mixed. At this point, if I were to get somebody pregnant, I'm pro-life. So if I date someone casually and I get them pregnant, I'm going to be stuck with them for the rest of my life. And I think you should today. You should have seen my nurse, guys. The woman who did my X-ray. Holy shit! This girl was a fucking smoke show and a half. She had the perfect nails, the manicure, beautiful eyes, light-skinned Mexican chick. Oh my god, she was perfection. I was just like, oh, I wish I spoke the language so I could hit on this chick. But the bottom line is I believe that the way to end racism is to have mixed race children. So because of that desire to end racism in the world, I'm going to be looking at hopefully having an Asian partner so that we can have like a half Filipino, half Mexican baby or something like that. I think that's going to be the best way to go for me to end racism. I'm a big fan of multiracial babies. So that's the only reason why I would not marry or date a Mexican girls because I want a mixed race child. Because even though I'm full Mexican, I do still internally identify as mixed race because of my adoption story. Being Mexican but raised by white people, I'm kind of transracial in a way. But is Bitcoin going to hold 30K this time? I think I mentioned that earlier. I think we're on the right path right now with Bitcoin, and I would keep an eye on it. And I know that if it hits 100K this time, I'm going to cash out of other coins. I don't have Bitcoin, but I do have other coins. Tara is good. She's on a Texas tour right now. She was in Uvalde. Now I believe she's at the border wall, looking at the border crisis. I believe. Popana says, the more I hear about the elementary shooting, the more it breaks my heart. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw my stream about it, but I really was trying to hold back tears when I was reading the names and the ages. It was really the ages that was killing me. Like I read the names, but when I would read the age like 10, that's tough shit. Bought my first gun after the Vegas shooting and still need an AR, to be honest. Dude, that Vegas shooting is scary. I don't want to talk too much about the Vegas shooting, but if you find the videos online somehow, there's some interesting stuff in those videos that you have to analyze. Let's just say that. Cody, I hope that you find a Latin with Latina and you can end racism together. That would be a wonderful thing. That would be awesome. Mutts are smarter, Adam. I'm 157 myself. Yeah, when it comes to dog breeds, they say mixed dogs are healthier because you can breed out the weaknesses of specific species. So I do think that at some point in our lifetimes, there's going to be a biological warfare that's going to be targeted to specific races. There's rumors I've heard that some countries are working on that. So, for example, releasing a virus that only affects Caucasian blood, for example. I'm reading online that there's like conspiracy theories about that stuff. So I think the best way to defend yourself is to have all sorts of ethnicities in your child. So that way you can confuse the the virus. Adam, please look up high res. We want change when you have time. Maybe even listen live. I don't know what that is. Send me a message on Instagram explaining what that is. Thoughts on Rhino Republicans like Dan Crenshaw, who passed the $40 billion to Ukraine while we were struggling over here? Yeah, he's said some really weird shit lately. One of the things that he said recently was we should be thankful that Ukrainians are fighting the war and Americans aren't. I was like, what? I mean, like I get it, but ultimately we are in a war right now. a proxy war. And it's also really annoying that Republicans would fund this war. Basically, we're keeping the war going on when we have so many issues here. I mean, $40 billion could finish the wall, could likely protect all schools, could hire a police officer for every school, could provide baby formula for the moms. Apparently, there was like a 1 mile line somewhere in this country to get baby food. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happened to this country. It is unbelievable. Everything Trump said was going to happen is happening, and if a lot of liberals can't see it, it's an absolute disgrace. It's a disgrace. Uh, to me, beauty is more important than color. Like in my head, when I'm trying to think about who my wife's going to be, I'm not thinking about like her skin color, right? Like I'm not like, oh, I want a dark or light skinned Filipina. I don't care about that, but I do care mostly about just the cultures and the values. And I think non-Western women. I hate to say it, but I think non-Western women are a better choice today for a Western man who seeks a simple, more traditional life. It's very difficult to find that with a Western woman unless she is a true conservative and you're a true conservative, or you're both evangelicals. And I'm neither of those. So my only option is to go overseas right now and find what I'm looking for. That's just the reality. Thank you for the super sticker, Big Dog. I appreciate that. That actually five Canadian dollars is a meal here in Mexico. So we've upgraded now from a gallon of gas in Joe Biden's America to an actual meal. So thank you for the free meal today. I appreciate that. Probably get myself a quesadilla at our horchata for $5. I appreciate that. And yeah, Trump nailed it, man. I really do think he's coming back in 2024, and I think he's going to make America great again. So on that note, guys, that is the update on what's been going on, why videos have been lacking. My channel is not dead. We're still here. I'm still posting some videos on TikTok. So I like TikTok because it's easy. I can just put up 30-second videos there. So if you guys aren't following me on TikTok, do it there. I'm almost at 50,000 subs on TikTok. Somehow I found a way to avoid not getting nuked on TikTok. Basically, what I realized was keep that shit so cookie cutter PG and you're fine. So go at me on TikTok, guys. I know a lot of you don't like to use it, but I love using that spy app. It's a great app. It's a fun app. I enjoy it. And I saw this really interesting filter on Instagram, which I think you guys all might be interested in checking out. It's a mirror filter. All right, this is so random. And basically, what it does is it mirrors your face, so it shows you what your face would look like if your face was both the right side, and if your face was both the left side. And I had no idea how different the sides of our face are. You ready for this, guys? So the top one I think is the left side of my face, and the bottom is the right side of my face. This is how asymmetrical I am. You ready? Look at this. Let's see if it'll get this to be nice and clear. Look at that. Isn't that crazy, guys? It's the same person. It's me, but it's just a mirror image of different sides of my face. And you end up looking completely different. Completely different. It's the weirdest shit that I've seen and it's one of the most interesting things I've seen on Instagram. So you go to Reels, and it's this mirror. It's that little mirror icon. So look for that, and then you click it, and it's going to split your face in twos. And once you line it up, you get an idea of what you look like. Let me see. Here we go. That's so weird. That's so fucking weird, guys. Oh my god, I look so different on both sides. It's like a mind fuck when you do this. Let me show you the one I just took. Look at how off my face is. Look at that. Look at my one side of my nose is bulbous, and then one side is in. It's like I had no idea that my nose was so fucking weird on both sides. Look at that. It looks like two different people. That's crazy. Look at that. That's my face from each side. Oh, it's just so bizarre. What a genius filter. So go check it out, guys, and share your results on Instagram and tag me, Adam Francisco. I want to see what you guys look like on your different sides of the face. It's one of the most crazy apps I've seen, filters I've seen. So really, really awesome stuff. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys all being here on the stream today. And I'm going to work on the video right now and then hit the gym. So thanks again for watching, guys. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy. And we'll see you guys. I'll do my debut video later today. So I'm going to close out with my theme song. If you guys want to write comments right now, I'll put them up on the screen as we're closing this out. All right, guys. I will see y'all in a little bit.